Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sound Off with System One. I am your host, Karen Callahan, and I am excited to be here with Victoria Neeson, CEO of Dreamtek, a leading global video production company and subsidiary of System One. System One is a leading provider of specialized, highly technical outsourced services and workforce solutions to critical infrastructure, technology, life sciences, and government sectors, putting more than 650 employees and 9,000 contractors and consultants to work in the US, Canada, and the UK daily. So please, while you're joining the broadcast, drop us a note in the comments section where you're joining us from and what industry you're in. We have Rich and Ali moderating the comments and dropping everyone's contact information as well. Please feel free to connect with all of us. And that being said, I'm excited because it's time for introductions. Victoria, thank you for joining our broadcast this week.
Hello, thank you for having me, Karen. It's great to be here. Great to be here.
Yes, so we're going to start the broadcast or the question and answer with you just introducing yourself, giving us a little bit of background and what drove you into the industry to begin with.
Sure. So Victoria Neeson, CEO of Dreamtek, which is now part of the System One family, a recent acquisition back in January 2022. So I actually fell into the video industry purely by accident. I'd actually finished my studies in the UK in business, and this was a very long time ago. And I started working for a company called Reuters, which is now Thomson Reuters, which is a big global news agency. And I was in a department where we were assessing new programs and kind of new operating strategies, quality management, I guess. And the CEO at the time had come to us and said, I need you guys to look at video conferencing because our travel bill is off the scale. I think they were spending £45 million a year or something on travel. And we need to deal with that. So we started looking at the technology and the solutions that were out there, all the different providers. We landed on a provider and we purchased a few systems and installed them in London, Sydney, and New York. And then over the next 8 years, we built out a global video conferencing service for the business. And we were clocking up hours and hours of usage. The whole thing was incredibly successful. We built video conferencing rooms. We built desktop systems. And it was just a great success. And, you know, back then it was a lane that I was really interested in. Being a female, you know, being in tech and actually being in video, which was still quite new. Bearing in mind this was before YouTube, before Facebook, before TikTok, any of those existed. So it was embryonic and I was just fascinated. So that's it. I went with it.
That's amazing. And it's a very interesting story because you basically said you fell into it and how apropos and advantageous it was that you fell into it because, you know, of where we are today with this need for these services. So that being said, Dreamtek, you are the CEO of Dreamtek. We have up here the QR code if you would like to visit the website. Would you like to please give us a brief history of Dreamtek, how it started and what it looks like today?
Sure. So Dreamtek was actually founded in 2000. I wasn't with the company then. We started providing post-production solutions to the post-production industry, predominantly in London. So it was products and services, and we're actually the first Apple reseller in the UK, which was quite big at the time. And we're at the time where we were sort of disrupting the post-production industry. So we were bringing in all these innovations and all these innovative solutions. This then extended to us designing studios and then by default kind of enhancing post-production workflows for our clients. We had a lot of musicians as clients, you know, building studios and figuring out how to sort of transfer their content via our workflows. And then a few years later, I came in. I'd been at an investment bank for 10 years and I'd been working in the corporate world and working in media. So I brought in a lot of that experience when I joined Dreamtek in 2009. And our first real big win was with YouTube. we built the very first YouTube creator space in London, which was incredible. And in fact, I just read this morning that YouTube is 18 years old today. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
it's as old as my son. I did not know that.
Right. And so, you know, part of their strategy was to build these studios, which would allow these creators to come in and film their content in a professional studio, right? So the quality of the content was much better, and ultimately led to more subscriptions for YouTube. So we built that studio. We then staffed it. So we then started providing, you know, producers and camera operators and directors, and that's how our staffing business was born. And obviously that's linked very, very closely to the System One business model. So today we have quite a big staffing presence and staffing business in the media and creative world. We've got a lot of customers that we provide full-time staff and freelance staff to on a regular basis. We also have our own in-house video production division, and we're producing video content for many, many different clients in you know, across many different verticals. And then in that business, we also have live events, remote or digital events, a bit like what we're doing today, and hybrid events. And we're lucky because we were doing digital events way before the pandemic. So that transition that we've seen over the last 3 years, we adapted to very quickly. And then the last piece of the business is what we call systems integration, and that's where we kind of do all the core innovation, producty stuff. And that kind of goes right back to, that goes right back to the days. That goes back to the days of the original kind of foundation of the business, which has always been about innovation. So we've carried that right the way through over the last 20 years, and we're continuing to innovate.
That's excellent, and I love the fact that it was that between your background and Dreamtek's background. Again, I'm repeating myself, but it was very advantageous that this was formed before a time that it became definitely needed. So I can see so and I can see us growing from there. That being said, I was wondering, and our viewers are wondering as well, what your project portfolio currently looks like.
Sure. So we have a number of different projects going on across the different divisions. Just to name a couple, one of our big customers is Google. So we're very, very lucky to work with the Google brand across the marketing teams and the cloud teams and all the different divisions of Google. They run flagship events throughout the year. There's one event called Google I/O, which is a huge event that we're partnering on with them this year. So we'll be producing and creating a lot of content for them. And that will be produced from our studio in Sunnyvale in California. And we'll also be producing a lot of remote and virtual content for them. So that's kind of a scale project. There's lots of content that we end up producing. So that's interesting. And there's another series of events called Summits, which we're also working on. And it's a kind of a similar service that we're providing them. Then if you flip over to like more of the systems integration kind of cool stuff, we're working with some car manufacturers, helping them develop e-learning content. But we're also working on some kind of secret-y projects, which I can share a bit with you. So think about walking into a car showroom and buying a car, and what that experience is like for you now. So you walk around the car, you meet the car sales guy, you might take you for a test drive. Well, the technology that we're building now enables you to do that all completely virtually from your own home. So, you know, using immersive technology and virtual reality, you'll be able to see the car, you'll be able to sort of touch it, feel it, sit in it. You'll even be able to take it for a test drive. So we're kind of reimagining the whole process of you know, purchasing products. So that's super exciting. I mean, there isn't ever a dull day. The other project we've been working on is with a castle in Belgium, which has actually been turned into like a digital online game, and all the characters are dressed up and performing a role, and we're kind of filming and streaming that to the gaming community. So it's really exciting stuff that goes on.
I was going to say that is extremely exciting. Now, with the car, can you smell the new car smell also, or is that something?
No, we haven't quite got there yet, Karen. And I know that's important to people.
Smell-o-vision
right?
will be later.
Yeah,
It'll be
I know
introduced.
it's important. You need that new car smell. So we've still got a way to go there. But yeah, no, it's so exciting. And you know, as I said, pretty much like revolutionizing and managing the way we buy products and consume products. It's really clever.
That it sounds extremely clever. It sounds very sci-fi, and I love that we are there. And speaking of that, would you be able to share and provide some details about your extended reality services and
Sure.
how that's applicable to clients?
So XR, extended reality, it sort of encompasses three areas of the technology: virtual reality, mixed reality, and augmented reality. And we kind of launched this service about 18 months ago. So we're still learning as we're developing the portfolio, but it's definitely shaping up to be something really interesting and exciting. You know, what we're trying to do is position ourselves as the expert in this field, because I feel that certainly in the corporate market, people are starting to ask themselves, what are we going to do with XR? What do we have to do? How do we do this?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we want to do is help businesses understand what VR XR is, how it can help your business, more importantly, how it can give you a return on your investment, and it can actually be valuable. And I think there's been a lot of gimmick and hype around it, but I actually think now, you know, customers are starting to realize that it has a value. So what we're trying to do is help them understand where that value is, and what it can do for them. And there's a few key areas that we're focused on. Training is huge. So, you know, e-learning has been around for a while. It's, you know, we've been developing e-learning content for a long while with our clients. But this kind of takes e-learning to another level, because now we're offering something that's much more immersive. You know, and the clients that we've worked with are kind of interested in seeing what that next phase is. So, you know, the concept of online training now gets a whole lot more interesting when you use VR technology, you know, because you can train people on practical tasks. They can kind of see their way around the objects. And this is actually really popular in safety training. You know,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Where the employee needs to sort of constantly refresh on training on the tools, but doesn't always or isn't always able to get to a central training space. The other thing we're doing is we're creating what we call digital twins. So a digital twin is the recreation of a physical environment in the virtual world. So, for example, a car showroom, you know, we can go into a car showroom, we can film it, and we can transfer it into a virtual world. So you're seeing exactly the same in that physical world than you are in the virtual world. And that's really interesting, because you're actually you're immersing yourself in that real physical environment. And again, that's very powerful for training. Other areas are product marketing.
Okay.
So, you know, product launches, because the experience can be shared across multiple channels, you can really maximize the product awareness, and it really allows the consumer to kind of, you know, interact with the product. And again, this is a great leap forward in terms of product and brand awareness. And then finally, on the event side, and we're an events company, so you know, we provide this service, you know, and we're looking at ways that we can enhance the event experience using immersive technology and virtual reality, and being able to offer remote users the opportunity to join an event, but actually really have a great experience. You know, and there's barriers, Karen, to, you know, there's some barriers to you know, adoption, you know, the headsets. Not everybody likes to
Mhm.
wear a headset, but hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll all be able to just pop on a pair of spectacles and have the same experience that we're getting now in the headset. So there's definitely some barriers, but they'll go and they'll resolve themselves. And I think we'll see a very exciting kind of time over the next 3 to 5 years with this tech.
It does sound exciting. I can see where, you know, it would probably, we're all good. It's an emerging technology and we're all getting used to it. I remember 4 years ago when I bought my son his first set, his Oculus, and how much he loved it. And I put it on, and as much as it was very amazing for me, I did have a little bit of vertigo after, but I didn't know if it was my age or just getting used to the equipment. But he did have a great time with it. But it's amazing how from 4 years ago to now, it's just so rapidly evolving. It amazes me.
And in another 4 years, you know, we probably won't even have headsets. We'll have a device, or they call them wearables, that will be much easier to use, so that, you know, everyone can experience this, not just, you know, the young kids.
Exactly. Not just them youngins. No, but that does, but speaking of ever evolving and what have you, that does lead me to my next question, which is, where do you see this industry evolving, you know, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, if you had a crystal ball? Because we know you do, Victoria.
Well,
you have it by that plant over there.
I've got a few crystal balls on my desk, I'll tell you, Karen. So yeah, I mean, listen, I think we've seen enough of this tech now to see that something is going to develop and something's going to happen. And this, I really don't feel this is going away. I do, as I said, feel that clients, corporates, brands are still trying to figure out how to bring this into their business. But that's what we're here for, right? That's what we're here to do and support. You know, and I think because Dreamtek has always been an innovative company, we want to be on that journey with our clients. We want to take them on that journey. We want to be the subject matter experts. And I think as we have decided and figured out that this is going to be part of the future and the future generation, this is why we've decided to invest in it. So where do I believe we're heading? I do believe the industry is heading into this world where, for products and training and events and a whole lot of other applications, this technology will be prevalent. And you know, there's a way to manage it and there's a way for it to emerge, but I do genuinely believe it's going to happen. I'm pretty convinced of that.
Well, that is amazing. And I want to thank you, because you have been a wealth of information, speaking not only to Dreamtek, but about these extra, these market trends about extended reality and virtual reality, and where video broadcasting and marketing and creative can go from there. So again, thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you for being on our broadcast today. I love it.
It was my pleasure. And I'm just looking at the questions here to see if any of there's anything I can answer. And if there's anybody wants to follow up with me or Karen in the team, please do let us know. Seeking medical writer. Nothing that springs to mind, but I'm sure we can pick up any questions from anyone afterwards.
We can do that afterward. And people who watch if you're not watching us live and you're watching us pre-recorded, please go ahead and connect with Victoria and myself, and feel free to direct message us or message here and we will respond. So it's been an exciting episode. I'm a geek. I love this.
We all are. We're all closet geeks. We all love a bit of technology. So
I'm telling you. And then having teenagers, I love watching, and I love watching sci-fi, and I love watching science fiction become science fact. And I feel that that's what we're headed with you and your team. So it's really exciting what you bring to our company as a whole. So really exciting stuff going on. The future is now, everyone. The future is now.
It really is. It really is.
All right. So again, if you're watching us either live or pre-recorded, go ahead and connect with Victoria and I. That, my friends, wraps up today's broadcast. In the meantime, as a reminder, please follow us on LinkedIn. I don't know if we're going to throw the QR code for following us on LinkedIn up here, but follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube as well if you can, because on YouTube we have all of our episodes of Sound Off with System 1 located and housed there. We have videos that contain expert career and job search tips for those of you who are job seeking. We have hiring manager best practices. We have leadership insights, which are my favorite, which is what we're doing right now, and a lot more. So go there, follow us on those 2 social channels. And again, Sound Off with System 1 every week, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and LinkedIn. Join us next week. My co-host, Ali Moen, will be discussing with her expert panel for job seekers, how to handle job rejections. Ali is great at turning negatives into positives. So it'll be a fun episode next week. Again, that is 2 p.m. Eastern, LinkedIn and YouTube. I don't know if I can say that enough. So again, thanks, Victoria, and see everybody next time.
Thank you, Karen.